Kwam Yasharala, Kwam Yasharala, Kwam Yasharala. This is Brother Zamran.
Brother Amiyah.
And we're with WFI Seattle. Coming live right now, again, to wake up our people, to teach them who they truly are. But, hey, sometimes we got to go into other things, right, that we're seeing in this world of Babylon that we're living in, right? There's a lot of confusion right now. And we got to get the Most High in hand that these Edomites.
Confusion of face.
Right. Right, but it's a different face this time.
Yeah, they got a different face.
Yeah, they got a whole different face, man.
A little worried now.
Yeah.
They look a little worried.
Yeah, this face got green lights on it.
Yeah, right. And now they got councils and stuff.
Right, exactly.
What do you think the Space Force is about?
Think
about that. They couldn't even come up with a good name for it.
Bro, they calling out all different type of countries, fam, right, to meet up with this council. And guess what? They was built off crafty council, but this face that they confused of is fooling with them so much that they can't even be crafty in this council that we saw.
Hold on, they're really not. They know.
Yeah, they definitely
know.
They definitely know.
They know it's about to be a wrap.
Yeah, what did Shawty Lowe say back then? They know. They know. They know. Right. And guess what, Israel? Y'all gonna know. Thus said the Lord, man. Right? What are we talking about? Right? Because, you know what I'm saying? You got a lot of, you know what I'm saying? They'll say, well, you know, Mama said that these are UAPBs. Right? Mm-hmm. But then, you know, you got to bring Colonel Sanders up in there to let them know, like, no, Mama's wrong again. Right. These are chariots of the Most High God.
Absolutely.
Right? You want to, so what, if you don't know, you want to kind of want to touch in a little bit, you know what I'm saying, on that latest video that just came out? You know, touch in a little bit.
Well, I tell you what really brought me on it. You know, and this is like prior to being in the truth, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sitting there and I'm watching. What is a conspiracy theory, right? There's bull, mm-hmm. and then there's conspiracy theories, right?
Right.
Usually bull is just somebody talking. A conspiracy theory usually comes with a lot of evidence.
Right.
But kind of, you know, like circumstantial evidence, if you will. But enough for you to be like, I don't know, man, that looks kind of, you know what I'm saying? Now, what is something on live CNN?
Mm.
You see something on live CNN, that's no longer a conspiracy theory. That is a video of something in front of somebody's face. And in this case, if you go on CNN, there's a flying tube that emerges out of the water. Now, we wish we could do this on the laptop. We would, you know what I'm saying, share the screen. But you can go on CNN and look up the fact that there's 2 Air Force pilots chasing a little tube that emerges out of the water, hovers for a minute. They try to engage and get a lock. This thing does like Mach 10 out of the atmosphere, just straight climbing at a like 90-degree angle.
You know what's funny is that on this council that they had, they asked the pilot, this object that you've seen, how fast can it go? Would you have been able to chase it down if you were wanting to attack it? And he answered and said no, because it can get up to the top speed that our equipment has. It can get up to that top speed in less than 2 seconds.
Right. Now here's the thing. I've never been a conspiracy theorist. So I haven't gone through like 90 UFO files, but there's some things that you hear that are common, right?
Right.
One of those is flying tic tac.
Facts.
It's flying tic tac, and in fact, that's what they call the thing that they saw on live CNN. Again, to supplement this video, go to YouTube, look up live UFO on CNN, not UJizz or something. All right? Live CNN. All right. And now you're going to see that it's called a tic tac. But if you didn't have a tic tac, what would it be called? Let's go to Zechariah 5:1 and check it out, bro.
Yeah, bring that up, man.
Let's go to Zechariah 5:1 because there's a lot of things that you can go to, and people might be like, well, I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that may or may not be what it is that you were looking for.
And that's mandate because the Bible tells you exactly, right, what it is. We got to understand that the Bible speaks in dark sayings and metaphors and similitudes, because that's how we speak, man, as so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who are the Israelites the Bible speaks of. So let's read, right, what the Bible talks about it, man. Go ahead, fam.
This is Zechariah, the mighty book, the prophet, our ancestor, Zechariah, chapter 5 and verse 1.
Matter of fact, you want me to read it and then you break it down?
Sure, yeah.
All right, come on. Zechariah.
This is crystal clear for you.
It's very crystal clear.
Like it's bad. It's like if you thought they were separate issues. we were created by aliens. No, we were created by God.
Yeah.
No. Bring it up.
This is Zechariah chapter 5, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes.
That means that he was chilling, and then he was like, oh, wow. He looked up at the sky. Right?
And looked, and behold,
he saw
a flying roll.
a flying roll. And you didn't have any Tic Tacs. They had rolls. They had bread. In fact, bread is one of the mainstays of the entire nation. Okay, They had rolls. That's the only thing that he can see. All right. What is that roll doing, by the way?
And what? Hold on. And he's actually comparing it, like you just said, it was important as far as the bread dealing with the rolls.
Right.
He's comparing it as if it's a roll, because back then, right, we only compared things as Israelites, right, because we speak in similitudes and metaphors,
as we still do.
Right. So we compare it to things that we're used to seeing on a daily basis.
Right.
Right. Now you want me to continue to read, or
because nobody would believe, like you trying to like the best you can.
Right.
Like did y'all see that? That thing looked like a flying piece of bread, or it's a roll, or a Tic Tac, as you might say today. What is the roll doing?
And this is verse 2. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll.
I see a flying roll. Flying, not a metaphor, not a spirit, not an angel, but really a flying roll.
Right.
This is what he's seeing. He's letting you know. All right. This is the Old Testament. This is you seeing the same Tic Tac today. Right. Old Testament or not.
Right.
All right. What's the flying roll doing? What's the next verse?
The length, which is in verse 2. The length thereof.
So he sees a physical object. He's describing the length. That means there's a 3D object in front of him. Continue.
Is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof.
The width, or how wide it is.
10 cubits.
So this thing is a roll. It's a cylinder. The same cylinder that these two Air Force pilots saw coming up out the water. Same thing then, same thing now.
That's facts.
Could have been the same roll.
Right.
We're the only one punished with death.
That's facts.
Forget about that. Okay. Everything else in the host of heaven is immortal. And so will the elect be at one point in time too. Right now, this thing is the same thing Zechariah saw, same thing these Air Force pilots saw. And this is exactly why there's a consortium. You can drop that. There's a meeting.
Oh, verse 3.
Verse 3. Bring it up. Oh, maybe that's what I want.
That is what you want.
Okay, what is the roll doing, right? That's the roll doing.
Then said he unto me.
So this is the angel talking to Zechariah. I'm sorry. I'm Salakia.
Esther go hard though. I feel why that came out your mouth.
Yeah, right.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like a lot of us men don't even have the spirit of Esther.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Some of you guys might, because you'll go put on a dress and say it's doctrine stuff. All right, continue.
Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth.
Wow.
For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it.
According to it. That means it can cut you off. It can eat you up. That's what it can do. All right? There's nothing you can do. This is why Esau now has a live in 3 o'clock in the morning consortium meeting about UFOs, because there's so many sightings that they can't do anything. And where do the majority of the sightings happen at?
Bro.
And nuclear weapon sites.
Everybody didn't know that.
You know that?
I didn't know that.
They're nuclear weapon sites. Wow. That's where the majority. You guys got to understand that this class is kind of impromptu. Me and the Yak right here, we're just kind of like talking about chariots. Otherwise, we'd have a few pictures and a few instances prepared for you. But you, in your own due diligence, can go see where the majority of UFO sightings have been at, and those are around nuclear weapon sites.
And think of like Independence Day, the movie, right, with Will Smith, you know what I'm saying, and Vivica Fox, you know what I'm saying, before she got with 50 Cent. So back then she was, you know what I'm saying, a lot good looking. Yeah. Now, you know what I'm saying, rough.
Now, what's the scripture? Can we bring out the scripture? Tell me where to go. It's only baldness thing.
That's Isaiah. That's Isaiah 3.
Okay.
Isaiah 3. Since we're there, right? That's Isaiah 3, and it's gonna be verse. Let's go with verse.
Here it is, right here.
You got it?
24. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. And instead of a girdle, and she has on a lot of makeup, so you know she's got a lot of perfume on. She's trying to cover something up. And instead of a girdle, a rent. And instead of well set hair, baldness.
Baldness, bro.
Bald.
Bro, and it even talked about it in verse 17, right? In Isaiah chapter 3, verse 17. Therefore, Yahweh will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts.
And these chariots ain't coming to pick you up.
No.
That's why we kind of segued right there. Like a lot of our females out here, you think that men are trying to get themselves right. Women also need to get themselves right because they're trying to catch a ride too at the bus stop.
Real talk, man. It's same with the children, man. Especially when you become of a age of understanding. You know what I'm saying? Now, we know the Most High judges children, right? No matter what the age is, right? So it's very important as so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that have households with children in it that you bring them up in the truth and knowledge of the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? Because we bringing them up in the truth and the knowledge of our enemies, the Edomites, man, and the rest of these wicked nations, which is why that a lot of our people are walking around here talking about, oh, it's an alien invasion. You know what I'm saying? It's UFOs, little green aliens doing the same thing that these wicked nations are saying. And see, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but that brings me to Colossians, right? I'm going to go to Colossians chapter 1, verse 16. Did you get that from me? Colossians chapter 1, verse 16, right? And all praise to the Most High, he's revealing these things. Daniel 12:4 talked about that knowledge shall increase, right? Even after the book was sealed. Go ahead.
This is Colossians chapter 1, verse 16.
Yeah.
For by him were all things created.
That's what we got to understand is that by him, right?
Yeah.
And it's talking about Christ.
All things.
Right? Where all things created. Go ahead.
That are in heaven.
Because when you're looking at what they call UAPBs, they've now changed the name from UFOs to UAPBs. That don't make no, like, which one is it? Just like they changed our name.
No, that's Esau's way. It's a weapon.
Right.
Esau's way is called normalizing something. It makes it belong to this generation if it has a new name.
Facts. Go ahead.
That are in heaven and that are in earth.
And that are in the earth. Go ahead.
Visible and invisible.
Visible and invisible, because sometimes a lot with these chariot sightings, right, who the world calls now UAPB, right, which before was called UFOs, right, with these chariot sightings, like you'll see it and then bam, they'll just vanish right away. So it has the capability, right, to be invisible and visible. This is why no man is messing with the technology, bro. You know what I'm saying? Of the Most High God, Yahweh. Go ahead.
Whether they be thrones,
right? We talking about dominionship and rulership, right? Because here you got Edomites, you know what I'm saying, that's upset, right? And then they're baffled and they're coming with these meetings to try to figure out what is it that we got to do as far as this object that we don't have the technology that they got. You know what I'm saying? Because they're worried about their dominionship and rulership. Go ahead.
Or dominions.
We just said it. Go ahead.
Or principalities.
Go ahead.
Or powers.
Or what?
Or powers.
Or powers, bro. This is power that you're seeing. When brothers and sisters are able to see chariots, that's a power sighting.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
I've never had the privilege. I don't think.
I've never had one time for me it happened. I was driving, you know what I'm saying, with my just getting off work out in Tacoma, right, passing getting ready to pass exit 127 by Winco.
Okay.
And you know, he got the overpass, right? I looked right up in the sky, you know what I'm saying, and bam, I seen it. You know what I'm saying? And then once it was like actually three of them. I seen three of them, then they just disappeared just like that. I saw them like go like,
and believe it or not,
it was literally like this. Like they right here, and then like, you know what I'm saying, the distance that it took from them right to disappear was like this, just like that. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. I actually be cool because they were sitting there for a minute, so I got a little bit of it on Facebook, but I kind of had a weak ass phone back then. I ain't gonna lie, bro. You know what I'm saying? So like you can see it, but you couldn't see it that much. But you really couldn't see it. Just do this.
But a lot of you watching have seen one. I haven't, but a lot of you guys watching have seen one. Here's the thing: it's common. That's what it's a lot more common than people think. You ain't gonna say nothing because you're gonna think I'm crazy. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, they think you're crazy when you bring out the word of God.
Right, exactly.
That's
bro.
how you know it's related to the whole subject matter.
Bro, real quick, bro, could you drop that and give me Isaiah 60:8 since we're on that? Because they have no understanding, you feel me? Like, and we know they ain't got no understanding, bro. Let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have no understanding to the point that they just gotta mimic what they see. It's the same way how they learn how to bathe, you know what I'm saying? How to comb their hair, how to live, how to build things, you know what I'm saying? Right, exactly, bro. Straight up cave beasts, man. Right?
I know.
Go ahead. Isaiah 60:8.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 60 and verse 8.
Yeah.
Who are these?
Who are these? That's what they saying in this meeting, right? That was showcased on CNN. Who are these? Are these, you know what I'm saying, like alien invaders? Because that was some of the stuff they were saying, right? Who are these? Or is this an equipment from one of our not our allies but our enemies? Because you got a lot of you got World War III on the rise. Go ahead.
Who are these that fly as a cloud?
As fly as what?
Fly as a cloud.
That fly as a cloud. If it was talking about airplanes, you know what I'm saying, then our enemies wouldn't be questioning that. If it was talking about things that they normally see that they have actually invented, you know what I'm saying, that which they got the power of the Most High for them to do that, right? Let's just put that there. But if these were normal things that they normally see in the sky, they wouldn't be asking, who are these that fly in the clouds? Go ahead.
And as the doves to their windows.
You see that?
Which means they're going to get run up on.
They're going to get run up. That's facts.
That's exactly what that means. Not over there.
Right.
Windowsill.
Right, bro. That's facts, bro. You got it, dude.
You know?
That's crazy, man.
They don't, hey, look, did you know? Once again, some of you guys, and you know, I don't actually, now that I sit here and think about it, I don't mind that I don't have some kind of pictures and material for you guys, because you guys who really are listening are going to do your own due diligence, right?
Facts.
One of the things I want you to go check out is in during the World War II, so that's the 40s, I believe.
Was it 42?
Well, it might be 1942. I believe it's the 40s decade, right? World War II.
We from the hood, you know what I'm saying? Like, we love history, but like, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
It
You
is
know, our memories from some of you guys can relate, right?
Yeah.
So there was a submarine, and they said that they encountered 3 chariots underwater moving with the same physics as they can in the air. One of the things they did is run up on them and start flicking on and off their nuclear weapons.
What?
Right. Here's the problem. When they brought it up to their leadership, this is all declassified now, right? They figured 50 years ago, who cares, right? And that's because the population is getting dumber and dumber as time goes on. They wouldn't look it up anyway. Some of you diligent brothers will. You'll notice that one of the things that they did was, we're going to have to deal with these aliens who are going to be here at some point. Maybe we should use the law of Moses. Go look it up. And if you don't believe us, you can hit us in the comments and be like, yo, you need to produce the source for that information.
And we did have this.
Surely will.
We did have this lesson scheduled for 7:45, but the Spirit just put on us to just go ahead and just go live now. So some of y'all may be catching on late, you know what I'm saying? But if you do, you know what I'm saying? Shalom to y'all. We love y'all.
Shalom. It's not a formal class, brothers. Right. Just discussing. You know, so you family to us, we discussing it with you, we discussing it amongst
Exactly. So like the brother said, put it in the comments as far as dealing with, you know what I'm saying, how you feel about it. You know?
Right. You know, you guys might have some information we don't. You know what I'm saying? Share it with us. Let's discuss it, right?
Right.
But
no. Go ahead. You got it.
Yeah, and you think that's, we brought out Zechariah 5. You just brought out
no, we got Zechariah 5. I brought out Isaiah 60:8.
All right, so these things are indispensable. First, there's a flying roll, and now they're asking, what are these things flying around? Who's going to run up on you in your windowsill? All right. So you might be skeptical still. Flying roll, I don't know how you're refuting that, but there's something else that I kind of want you guys to hear, because occasionally you will get what would you say, the skepticism. They'd be like, well, you could take it another way. That's your first line of defense.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
You're taking it the wrong way.
Or maybe you're misinterpreting, you know what I'm saying, the scriptures. Or maybe you're misinterpreting what you're seeing.
Behold, a flying roll.
Right.
What was there to you know, a lot of you Christians out there think that the North Star is a North Star. You really think that? All right, hold on. We'll get to that in just a second. We'll get to that in just a second, because first I want to bring out an idea. You know, if you can get from the First Kings, 19 and 11.
That's the Spirit.
This is a little bit more practical than you think. The Bible's actually a more practical book than you think. one of the things, weapons they use to try to like overshadow the Bible is trying to make it look mystical.
Oh, this is dope.
The Most High has only done a few things outside of like his general, like, that's why he always mentions Egypt. He showed out for Egypt. He came there and did all types of supernatural things. For everything else, things are practical. Like if he sends you a prophet, and like when they sent him Gideon, right? They were crying out because the Midianites were harassing them, and they were living in caves and all that.
Shout out to our brother Gideon and WFI.
Shout out to brother Gideon. I got something special for you coming up this weekend, all right? Less is dedicated. Right? But anyway, so when you're reading about it, Gideon, they're crying out to the Most High. Most High's like, all right, I'll give you a prophet. And then the next verse, Gideon's threshing some wheat next to a wine press. That's a class all in itself, right? The thing about it is that verse had about 50 years in it. However old he is, maybe he's like in his 20s and 30s or something, right? The point of the matter is he had to live a whole life. Somebody had to get pregnant. He had to get born. And then he had to live a little while.
Right.
And then the Most High came up to him, even though they tried to make it look mystical. Oh, the Most High sent him a prophet. And then immediately, boom, there's a prophet on the earth. Or boom, my family.
Right.
No, he had a natural birth. He had a mother and a father. The Most High took 20 to 50 years to carry out that process.
That's facts.
The Bible's more practical than you think. So these chariots, these angels, straight up, these hosts of heaven, because the sky is one of the heavens. These hosts of heaven, that would be what a chariot is.
Right.
All right. Is more practical than you think. Bring it up.
This is I want to start at verse 10, bro, because this is dope.
Go ahead, do your thing, man.
1 Kings chapter 19, verses 10 through 11. And he said, I have been very jealous for the Lord of God of hosts, Yahweh God of hosts. For the children of Israel.
The children of who?
The children of Israel.
So nobody, the chariots ain't here to address anybody else. Continue.
Have forsaken thy covenant, thrown down thine altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword.
So we were just talking about that. What happens when the prophets get here? You kill them. Because they're telling you, hey, you see those things in the sky? You better start following these rules. You better start following the covenant, following the agreement. Once we had the blood sprinkled on us, not even. Once Adam was put upon the earth. But anyway, continue.
And I, even I only, am left, and they seek my life to take it away.
They seek my life. That's what it's like being Israelite. Some of you Israelites get upset because you're alone all the time. Listen, this prophet, this powerful man, this mighty man is alone, right? And they're trying to kill him. He's a fugitive, and he's not about to get a fair trial.
Yeah, a fugitive who didn't commit no crime.
No crime. Okay, continue.
Verse 11. And he said, go forth and stand upon the mount before the Lord.
All right, so he's going to stand on a mountain before the Lord. All right, before the outer one. Continue.
And behold,
he's going to.
And also dealing with mount too. You know what I'm saying? That's also, dealing with dominionship.
Dominionship governments.
Governments, right. So he said, go forth and stand upon the mounts before the Lord. And behold, the Lord passed by.
Hold on. The Lord passed by. I thought he was a ghost that inhabited the whole room, or he's an invisible thing. Something is passing by. Well, go ahead. The Lord is passing by. Go ahead.
And which means we're gonna find out what he's passing by on.
Right.
We ain't talking on damn Tesla either.
Nah.
And great and strong wind rent the mountains.
So he's looking. Behold, he's looking at the mountain. And all of a sudden, the Lord's passing by. Now there's a strong wind. Shh. He's like, whoa, continue. What else is going on?
And break in pieces the rocks before the Lord.
Shattering rocks. That's how much wind and power is coming. Continue.
That's crazy, bro. And that's how it looks when we see on movies.
Right.
As far as how it comes and it lands. It's almost like a helicopter, bro.
Is it like movies, or are the movies like the word?
That's right.
Because that's where they got it from. Continue.
Right. But the Lord was not in the wind.
All right, so all of you who are spiritual, who go up on mountaintops and let the wind blow through your hair and have charms, and you start saying things and like whatever, okay, you're a weirdo. All right, the Lord's not in that wind. But the wind we're talking about isn't the wind necessarily from the sky. The wind we're talking about is what? Think about it real hard. There ain't no other wind anywhere else. This wind is breaking rocks and stuff. All right, but the Lord wasn't in that though. What is it? Continue.
But the Lord was not in the wind, And after the wind, an earthquake.
Wow. So now there's wind, and now as it gets closer, as it's leveling, now the earth's starting to shake.
Wow.
An earthquake. Continue.
But the Lord was not in the earthquake.
Wait, the Lord's not in the earthquake, so that's not the Lord. The Lord's coming. He's passing by. Right. Whatever he's passing by with has a lot of wind and creating an earthquake. Oh, but what else is it creating? Continue.
And after the earthquake, a fire.
Wow. A fire. So now there's wind blasting as it gets down, shit shaking, and then as that thing gets closer, there's fire blowing out of it.
But the Lord was not in the fire.
Dig that. What was he in?
And after the fire, a still small voice. Verse 13. And it was so when Elijah heard it that he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out and stood in the entering in.
Like, what is that? Oh my God, what is going on? Oh, you can drop that. That's what's going on. That's how the Lord passed by. Man. I thought he was in everything. Nah. He was in a cave. All of a sudden there was wind, it was shaking, and there's an earthquake, and there's fire. He's got to go out and cover his eyes. Like, what is that? What is that big cloudy fiery thing that Moses is going up to on the mountain?
And what's crazy is that in that council, bro, you know what I'm saying? They're literally asking questions like, as far as you seeing it, what did you see? And what do you think it is? And they can't answer that, bro. They coming up with their own answers, their own phrases, right? Because at the end of the day, yeah, you know what I'm saying? The Most High is removing the understanding out of Esau, like spoken about in Obadiah, right? But at the same time, they're also just denying the fact, you know what I'm saying, what you said earlier, as far as that they know what this stuff is. Because they know the Bible too, right? But that's how they were able to use this Bible to confuse our own people.
The Most High turned his back on us. It was us he wanted to hide the word from.
Right.
You know?
I got this preset, man. This is, can you give me 2 Kings chapter 2, verse, let's start at verse, let's start at verse 10.
2 and 10?
Yes.
It's the book of 2 Kings, chapter 2, my brother, and verse 10.
Right.
And he said, thou hast asked a hard thing.
So this is Elijah, you know what I'm saying, asking, telling, actually this is, Elijah telling Elisha, right? They're having a conversation, right? And Elisha asked him something. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, it shall be so unto thee.
Right. So Elisha had asked Elijah to give him double portion of the Spirit, as talked about in verse 9. And it says, nevertheless, if thou see me when I am taken from thee, right? When I am taken from thee, right? Go ahead.
But if not, it shall not be so. And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire.
So at this point, we just read what the brother brought out as far as the stages on how this chariot, if it decides to want to, you know what I'm saying, to really come to ground level earth, you know what I'm saying? Or even if it decides to just be above and it's actually for somebody, you're going to have those same elements, right? You're going to have the wind, right? Like the brother was reading earlier. You're going to have the earthquake, right? You're going to have the fire, right? So at this point, it says that, you know what I'm saying, there appeared a chariot of fire. So at this point, the chariot has already done everything else that he normally does, according to the scriptures. And now you got fire coming on the earth, right? Which is like destruction. Go ahead, bro.
And horses of fire. That thing has horsepower.
Right, exactly.
And parted them both asunder.
And parted them both asunder. So, right, so they separated them, right? Elisha and Elijah, right? Go ahead.
And Elijah went up by the whirlwind into heaven.
That means that he was sent up and beamed up by the chariots, like we see how Esau tries to portray in his movies. See, Esau gets all his understanding and his ideas, right, from the words of the Bible, because we are the chosen people of this book, which means why we already have the natural spirit. We just have to tap into that, which will bring more understanding, you know what I'm saying, to our people, as far as the stuff that they're seeing, to where you're watching our enemies talk about this stuff, and it should just make you laugh. Because the Lord said in Psalms 147, you know what I'm saying, verses 19 to 20, You know what I'm saying? That we should rejoice in the Lord, you know what I'm saying, for the fact that they don't even know, you know what I'm saying, the judgments, you know what I'm saying, the statutes, the laws, you know what I'm saying, it's specifically the judgment that's coming upon them. So we warn our people, you know what I'm saying, about this stuff that we're seeing, because we're instructed, you know what I'm saying, to basically, you know what I'm saying, keep watch. We're warning this stuff to our people to let y'all know that, hey, these chariots are real, right? And they're not UAPBs, they're not UFOs. These are the chariots of the Most High God that is set for our deliverance. Go ahead. I'll use.
No, I was sitting there listening. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, go back and watch Independence Day. True or false? When the mothership breaks the atmosphere, two things happen. A, the sky rolls back like a scroll during re-entry. And B, there's a chariot sound. That's where they took that from. When that thing came through them, it's exactly the sound that they made. Because they know precisely what is going on and they're powerless against it.
Right, that's right.
They figure that if they keep us from not knowing what's going on, that they'll be straight. That's a good plan if I was Esau. You know, what else am I going to do? You know, speaking of fire, you know, Esther's talked about that.
Yeah, we get that.
You know, Esther's talked about that, and Uriel.
And he's saying Esdras, because you know he from the Northern Kingdom. You know what I'm saying? He from Ephraim. So the way he pronounces certain names in the Bible is Northern Kingdomish. And
his name is Nehemiah. I don't care what you say.
And he's talking about Nehemiah. It took me a while to understand what he was saying, Nehemiah. And I'm over here looking it up on the map, like, where's land Nehemiah? You know what I'm saying? The whole time he's saying Nehemiah. Right.
We go through this.
Second answer is what, though?
Second answer is 4 and 5.
All right, bet.
Because, you know, some things in the Bible, like he was saying, have dark meanings. And sometimes 2, 3, and 4 meanings at the same time. Why? Because we speak in parables. This is part of what we do.
Right.
Part of what we do. Go ahead, let's bring that up.
This is Second Esdras, chapter 4, verse 5. And I said, tell on, my Lord.
This is Esther's talking to Uriel. Esther's is a question asker a lot. And, you know, all praises, because he's a very common man asking very common questions. And that's exactly why that book was removed. You know, you can't remove something if you don't understand it.
Bro, he straight up asked, like, what's going to happen at the end of this world, and then what's going to happen after that?
Yeah, right. He just like, hey, listen, I'll starve myself to death. Hey, you want to eat flowers? I eat flowers. You want me to eat paint? I eat paint. Just let me know what's going on. And so he's talking to Uriel right here. Still, the angel. Go ahead.
Right. This is Second Esdras chapter 4, verse 5 again. And I said, tell on, my Lord. Then said he unto me, go thy way, weigh me the weight of the fire.
Right. So he's saying, now we're going to read this once. He's saying, like, if you know so much, like, you don't really understand what you're asking. You're not really at that point for you to understand. I tell you what, let me make you an example. How much does a fireball weigh? And he was stuck. Continue.
Or measure me the blast of the wind.
Right. So tell me how much wind is blowing. Now, this is the understanding of the first meaning. But if you really think about it, what he's asking is, tell me how our chariots work, Esther, if you want to ask so much.
Bro, it makes me think that the wind, any type of wind chill that we have here living, bro, is from this chariot.
No, we have wind, but the kind of wind, we don't have wind that breaks and shatters rocks and causes earthquakes.
Facts.
That's the kind of wind that these things can do.
That's real.
You dig what I'm saying? So, like, what he's asking us, you drop that. I just want to bring up the fact that what he's asking us, tell me how our chariots work. You don't understand. Actually, I have an interesting concept. Give me a verse about how we're going to be transfigured at the end of times. Bodily. Where's that verse about we get a new body?
Let me get that for you.
You're going to bring that up. I have a concept. You see, we are gods upon the earth, right? We are the what Esau would call in his ecosystem, apex humans. That's what that is. We are above all of the humans on the face of the earth, right? The thing about that is that in this order of things, you realize that we're higher than animals, right? You're higher than your dog. Hey, listen, I love dogs.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of you Israelites watching this right now have dogs, and you love your dog. Kill them up over your dog. I ain't got nothing against it. That Proverbs 12 and 10. How
to treat your beast.
Yeah, let me get that. While you're getting the thing that I need, let me get Proverbs 12 and 10 for all the animal lovers out there, because I'm one of them. Proverbs 12:10, a righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. All right? Israelites love their animals, even the ones they're going to eat. All right? We treat them well because we're not beasts. You know what I'm saying? We don't go trophy hunting like Esau. We're not a man of the field. All right? You know, we're not trying to impress people with venison. My whole point with this is that your dog is actually smart. Where am I going with that, right? Your dog isn't stupid. Lassie knows when you're in a damn well, stuck in a well or something. Or I've seen horses bow down to people who can't get up on them. Or different animals do amazing things because they're not stupid. Orca teach their young their language. Each pod has an independent language. I would surmise that maybe perhaps whales have more intricate language than we do. I don't know. Most High knows, right? Each kind to its kind, right? But the point of the matter is that your dog is smart. But here recently, Esau said that the shape of your brain, not the size, because whales have bigger brains, right? So it's not your brain, right? It has nothing to do with we're more intelligent, right? We're gods, they're not, right? So Esau's like, well, maybe the shape of your brain makes you smarter, right? Here's what it is. Try to explain to your dog how your car works. Your dog's smart, right? Explain, well, what would you use? If that task was before you,
it's not gonna work,
right? This is the task before Uriel, explaining to a lesser life form at the present moment, right, that he doesn't understand something that it's easy for Uriel to understand, but he's not constructed physically. Think about it.
Right.
When you get transformed at the end of all this, you have a different physical body. That means, like your dog isn't physically capable of understanding how your car works. You are not physically capable of understanding simple technology that technology is the word I'm going to use, that the angels use. You're actually not there physically. That's why you have to be transfigured at the end so that you can understand better. Believe it or not, you're physically limited by the vessel that you are.
Bring that up.
Like your dog is. Right? You're their God. The Most High is our God. Physically, you're not capable of handling the truth. That's why it's hard on you. That's why it's a bitter herb. Bring that up.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15. I'm going to read two verses that kind of answer it. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 40 and also verse 44. And it said, I'm sorry, 39. All flesh is not the same flesh.
All flesh is not the same flesh. Your dog isn't the same flesh as human flesh. Human flesh is different. Most High made each kind to its kind. So every flesh is separated and in its own kind.
Right.
But Israel is separated above all things.
That's right.
Continue.
But there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts.
I just said that. I didn't know he was going to say it. Continue.
Another of fishes and another of birds.
All different types of flesh.
Verse 40. This is where it gets real. There are also celestial bodies.
Oh, wow. A different type of body. I swear I wish I had that verse that proves that physics, quantum physics exists. We'll get that in the next one. Continue.
Hey, I got that too. It's actually going to be, I got that too. Embodies terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another.
Check this out. They're both matter.
Oh,
if you're going to look at it from scientific standpoints, they're both matter. This matter that they're made out of can use those chariots. Think about it from the standpoint of
those are the celestial bodies.
Right. Think about it from the standpoint of basic physics. You can't travel at the speed of light. Why? Because the particles that are in the air would become like a 22 caliber bullet. Just a simple particle in the air would go through your body, you would shatter. Not to mention, if you Esau's bullshit science says that Jupiter's out there, and then they'll tell you that well, there's too much radiation. The human body can't make it through space. So even he knows, he's just saying it differently to make himself sound as if though he's able to do that. But what does that mean? Space travel, ladies and gentlemen, is never going to be possible. Not in our current state, as they describe it. Physiologically, it's impossible for us to man a chariot the same way it is impossible for your dog to man your car.
Real talk, man.
The Bible, like I just said, is more practical than you think. It's not mystical. It's not a fantasy world. It's explaining to you physically you don't have the capability of understanding. Your vessel is hindered. It is limited.
Right.
In order to move forward, the Most High is going to have to transfigure you. He's not transfiguring something that doesn't deserve it, or it's not pure. This is why we got to repent in these last days.
That's facts. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 44. It is sown a natural body, and this is talking about, you know what I'm saying, the terrestrials. It is raised a spiritual body. There is a natural body, and there is a spiritual body, which will be the celestials. So showing the difference again, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to bring this out. Could you give me real quick Daniel chapter 1, verse 4? Daniel chapter 1, verse 4.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 1, verse 4. Children in whom was no blemish, but well favored,
Right,
and skillful in all wisdom,
right,
and cunning in knowledge.
So we're talking about the children that were created, right, to literally have no blemish, right, well favored, right. We're kind of getting somewhere. Ding, ding, ding. Right, a skillful in all wisdom, and like you said, cunning in knowledge, right. So already with that being said, if you know about Deuteronomy 7 and 6, this is speaking of the Israelites. Go ahead.
And understanding science.
And what?
And understanding science.
Right. So a lot of y'all may be confused. Like, okay, well, it says we should understand science. You know what I'm saying? But I thought science was created by the white man. Right? The children of Israel understood the true science because this science is of the Most High God. Understanding the capabilities, you know what I'm saying, that he can do as far as making chariots and things of that nature, bro, right? To just be able to just shape the entire earth, right? Real quick, give me 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 20. Because we understand there are two different types of sciences, and the Bible proves that to be. Here you have in Daniel chapter 1, verse 4, it's mentioned about science. But this science is actually for the wisdom of the Israelites. Now, let's find out the science, you know what I'm saying, dealing with the so-called white man. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 20.
This is Timothy, 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 1. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust.
And what's committed to our trust is trusting in these laws, statutes, and commandments. Trusting in that salvation is going to be for our people and our people only, as long as we keep the commandments. Go ahead.
Trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings.
So we got to avoid profane and vain babblings. And see, that's the problem. Our people, they can't avoid it. They listen to our enemies, the Edomites, so much when they talk about things that they're saying that we know is biblical, but yet they'll call us crazy. You know what I'm saying? They won't avoid. No, they're talking to you crazy when they're saying that they're UAPBs now. Before they were called the UFOs. The Bible calls them chariots. The Bible calls them flying robes. The Bible calls them all different types of things, right? You feel what I'm saying?
Are you gonna believe man or the Most High?
Right. Are you gonna believe man or the Most High? Acts 5, 29-31. Go ahead.
And oppositions of science.
And what?
And oppositions of science.
Go ahead.
Falsely so called.
So not only are we supposed to avoid profane and vain babblings that we hear from our enemies out in CNN, because I ain't seen one Jake. I think I seen one Eve. She was of the Northern Kingdom. You know what I'm saying? That was it. But everybody else, which is all, it's just a whole crafty council of Edomites, right? Right? And we're supposed to avoid their profane, vain babblings, because everything that they talking about is just babbling. But to understand the babble that they spitting out to where you can actually decode to what is actually, to what the Lord is talking about and be able to compare the two, you have to start keeping the commandments. That way you'll have the circumspect, you know what I'm saying, or not circumspect, what's the word I'm looking for?
Foresight.
Not foresight. Just slipped my mind. Slack it, man. But you'll be circumspect enough, right, to be able to, you know what I'm saying, to be able to see what's going on and what the Lord is doing, right? And it's falsely so called. It says oppositions of science, falsely so called. That's in the Bible. So that's distinguishing the two difference between, there's two different types of sciences. You have the science of the so-called white man, and then you got the science of the Most High God. And what we're seeing when we're looking at these meetings in CNN that we just seen right earlier, those who've seen it.
I don't know if they saw it. I don't know if they saw it. It was live.
Man.
You gotta check it out.
We'll put the link in the chat, you know what I'm saying, so y'all can check that out. But they just, you know what I'm saying, it's a bunch of Edomites that are together trying to compare their science to what is the Most High science as far as what they've seen. by saying now these are UAPBs. But what they're going to find out is that their science is not going to be able to last against the Lord.
Maybe they want some of the Most High science for them, right?
They've always want that. It talks about how they exalt themselves to the
No, I'm
stars.
talking about everybody on the line. You guys want some science? You guys want some Israelite
There we
science?
go.
Hey, check
Right.
this out. Give me a Leviticus 17 and 11.
All right, bet.
Weren't we just talking about there's celestial bodies and terrestrial bodies?
Right.
There's some science right there. They're not dealing with you.
Mm.
They're saying that there's something physically that you can see, atoms, protons, neutrons, and past that, there's a little bit of extra matter. We see this in the scripture as celestial. They call it quantum physics. Right? But here's what makes the Most High amazing. He can combine those two together.
Right.
A spirit and a physical body. Well, how does he do that? Well, let's get some science.
Right.
Let's get some science.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 17, verse 11.
Come.
For the life of the flesh is in the blood.
That is how the celestial is anchored to the physical body. It's in liquid. Isn't everything in liquid? Isn't it interesting? Isn't the earth betwixt the waters? Check this out. Your soul is betwixt the waters. You know what I'm saying? You can finish that out if you want. That's the main of it. But you can finish that out.
And I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls, for it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul.
Blood is important. Blood is something more than just a liquid. You see a liquid. Right. You do not see the mechanism that binds the celestial body to your vessel. This is just a cup. Hey, what do you call that? A vessel? It's just a cup. That's why he keeps calling you a cup. He can see what you really are. This is just some ashes you got poured into.
That's it, bro.
That's it. People spend a whole lifetime trying to beautify ashes.
Yeah, it's madness, bro.
You eat hair into your ashes. You drink protein shakes into your ashes. You nearly starve yourself to death so your ashes can look nice and organized.
Yeah, that's madness, bro. That's madness. Let me get this, man. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 1. I'm sorry. Can I get Ezekiel chapter 1, verses 4 through 5, bro? Ezekiel 1? Yep. Because these chariots, man, are showing themselves to be true. And the Bible spoke about this, for centuries, right? And yet our people don't understand what's going on. We have to understand that our enemies don't understand what's going on. Whatever the type of understanding the Most High gave them is what he gave them. This is why they're not able to see that these are not UAPBs. These are UFOs. That these are the chariots of the Most High God. Man, those flying robes. Go ahead. This is Ezekiel 1, verse 4, and read through 5.
Verse 4. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north.
Right.
A great cloud.
Because you have the Lord who's coming to speak to Ezekiel right at this point. And he came, right? It says in a whirlwind, right? Like a great cloud. Right, go ahead.
And a fire.
It's still talking about the same characteristics as far as what it does, in the order like the brother brought out earlier. Go ahead.
A fire enfolding itself.
So now it's like, a damn ball. Like,
right.
Like that old game on Nintendo Control, and you get the S gun. It starts shooting out them red fire type balls, right? You just be killing everything. Right, exactly. Go ahead.
And a brightness was about it. Had lights.
Had lights, bro. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And out of the mist thereof, as the color of amber.
Wow.
Out of the mist of the fire.
And what color is amber?
Like a what do you call it? Like a not orange or brown, but like a honey color. Like honey. Okay. Honey's the color of amber.
That's dope. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Also, out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures.
Of 4 living creatures. Go ahead.
And this was their appearance.
Right.
They had the likeness of a man.
So now, they'll sit there and talk about, these are green aliens, right? And they're coming, to get us. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to come and be like, well, what them aliens say on Toy Story, bro.
They have 3 eyes.
The cloud. Right? You know what I'm saying? No, this is not what the Bible's talking about. Right? You got 4 living creatures. They had a likeness of man. Go ahead, bro.
And everyone had 4 faces.
Right. So now these are 4 distinctive faces. Right. Go ahead.
And everyone had 4 wings.
And had wings. Right. Go ahead.
And their feet were straight feet.
And their feet were straight feet. So we don't have straight, bro. We don't have straight feet. Bro.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because we got, you know what I'm saying, our leg goes down, then it extends out as far as where our feet. Right? But this has straight feet. Right? Go ahead.
And the sole of their feet was that like the sole of a calf's
like
foot.
Like a sole of a calf's foot.
That's a straight.
This is coming out of the chariot.
Right. It's a landing strut. That's what that is.
Come on, man. Let's be real. Let's keep it 100. I'm thinking about that movie. Man, not. It's like the kid version of the Lord of the Rings, bro. I think it's the Golden Compass or something like that. I don't know, bro. But they had like creatures that look just like that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. There's that burned brass.
That burned brass. So now it had the appearance of man, right? So clearly this is they got brass skin that's sparkling. You know what I'm saying? Not sparkling like damn Edward on damn, you know what I'm saying? That vampire on damn, you know what I'm saying? What's that movie?
You're a heathen watching this. You should be concerned.
Right.
You should be concerned. Blacks, Latinos and niggas are coming to kill you all.
Right, bro. We're just keeping it real.
You gonna call one of them a nigga? What you gonna do? You gonna see the chariot? You gonna see something thundering and cracking rocks? You gonna they gonna come out? You gonna be like, "Hey, you nigger, what are you doing here?"
Exactly.
You probably
they gonna do it. But I'm impressed by the calf's foot. Yeah. This is what's coming out the chariot. Let's continue on verse 8. Can you go to verse 8?
And they had the hands of a man.
But they got the hands of a man, right? Go ahead.
Under their wings.
Under their wings, right? Go ahead.
And their 4 sides.
Uh-huh.
And they 4 had their faces and their wings.
Wow.
Their wings were joined one to another.
So this is a group. It's like a squad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That are connected, that can do the same thing. Oh, goodness. Go ahead.
They turned not when they went.
They turned not when they went.
They went everyone straight forward.
Straight forward, bro. Go ahead. It's good. Go get more description.
As for the likeness of their faces,
right?
They 4 had the face of a man.
So you got one that's got a face of a man. Their wings are joined together. You know what I'm saying? They got the calf's foot, you know what I'm saying, with the straight feet, with, you know what I'm saying, beautiful brown skin that's sparkling, you know what I'm saying, with the man's hands ready to knock somebody out. Go ahead.
And the face of a lion.
And a face of a lion. But somebody got a face of a lion.
He has a beard.
And he's a black lion. How about that?
Not a panther.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Go ahead.
On the right side, and they 4 had the face of an ox.
On the right side, they 4 had a face of an ox on the left side. So this is the same head. You got one side is the face of a man, the other side is the face of an ox.
Oh, this is the way they're
describing. Other side is the face of a lion. Go ahead.
And the 4 had the face of an eagle.
And had the face of an eagle on the back side or on the front side, whatever order that it's in. So you have an eagle, right? You have an ox, you have a lion, and a man. This consists of the 4 faces, right? That Ezekiel got the image of, you know what I'm saying, when the Lord approached him. And it came out from the chariot. So there are, celestial, you know what I'm saying, bodies that we have not seen that the Bible speaks of, which is why there's a difference in science. So when you're watching things on CNN, you have to understand what it is that you're watching. Everything is spiritual, not carnal. And only the Israelites can tap into that true spirit.
And what did the Most High say? Let's make him in our image.
Right.
Come on, but this one has the likeness of a man. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, and the likeness of a lion face.
Surprise, surprise.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
And you know when Yahushua gets back, stone cold line.
What if, like, you know what I'm saying, we was to make it, bro, and then I thinking I'm just gonna be me, but just, you know what I'm saying, probably, you know, a lot more, you know, shit, you know what I'm saying, and with spiritual powers, bro.
Version of ourselves.
Oh, what if we get dreamed up, bro, and then all of a sudden we turn from this into a man that's got a face of a man,
well, it says that we haven't laid up what, you know, the Most High has in store for us. No man's ever laid that up in his heart, and we're gonna judge these things.
So I'm just thinking, like, bro, then what is our wives gonna look like, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like if they make it, if we gonna be looking
They all
like
gonna
that,
look like Sarah.
you know, or we have the potential of looking like that. You know what I'm saying?
We
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
We don't really
We
know
don't
what we look
know.
like. We don't
You know
know.
what I'm saying?
We just trying to.
We did say we was made in his image, bro. So we got the woolly hair.
Check this out. Those things you see up there. Nah, hey, go. You want to look something up? Go look up what Alexander the Great said. Said that thing killed what? Like 20,000 of his men one morning.
That's facts.
Said that thing killed 20,000 of his men. Let me get a precept real quick.
Yeah, bring that out, bro.
Let me get a precept.
Get a few more presets, and we'll wrap this up.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, one more. Let me get right because people think this is all a game.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Let me get maybe 2nd Esdras 9:2 actually. Second Esdras 9:2. You think and these a lot of our ancestors in slavery must have seen them too, out there working the fields, out there sitting out there at night, see something come over and arc that. You know what they probably said? I don't know. The Lord's up there doing His work.
Right.
We were zealous then without any question. You know, bring it out.
You only started verse 1?
Yeah, sure. Right.
This is 2nd Esdras chapter 9, verse 1. Mm-hmm. He answered me then and said, This is
Uriel talking to Esdras again. You know, always asking something.
Measure thou the time diligently in itself.
Right.
And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before,
about the end of the world,
then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit.
There's several. We can bring out several visitation scriptures. We've heard it on the line a rack of times.
We brought it out today.
He's visiting. I thought he was everywhere. I thought he was a ghost. I thought it was a mist. Didn't Abraham ask to see him?
Yep.
And he said, I'll put my hand over this with my hand with opposable thumb over the rock. We're dealing with something very powerful. It could be a ghost if it wants to. Yeah. It can be whatever. It could be whatever it wants to be. And there's nothing you can do. We can't even really. We understand so little. We say Yahweh, but that just means that he is. Right. He can't even really explain his name for real. Mm-hmm. We arguing over a name that's actually too low for us to even understand. His name's Yahweh. His name's this. His name is that our spoken word is so minuscule. Mm-hmm. Compared to what he is. He's being nice by letting us call, you just are right there. He's being nice by letting us do that.
That's right.
And I yield on that.
No, let's continue on this because it gets better.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So much I can't even hold it all.
Wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes.
Oh, the same earthquakes as when Jeremiah was sitting in that cave,
right?
And the little chariot coming down.
Ezekiel,
I'm sorry.
Yep. And uproars of the people in the world.
Hold on for a minute. France,
right?
Germany, Ukraine, Russia, here. Argentina. They are going apeshit in Argentina. There's nothing but uproars in the people right now. You used to read about one riot. Now when a riot comes on, you'd be like, that's why nobody repented at the end, because it looks normal. Continue.
Verse 4. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
And in order to understand the end, I'm telling you right now, you got to prepare yourself for the painstaking search of your fathers in the ancient path.
Bro, we got to continue.
Esdras crazy.
It's about to get even more.
You ain't never read Esdras? Read it.
Verse 6.
Promise you'll be in it. Read it.
Even so the times also of the highest have Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works, and ending in effects and signs.
Effects and signs.
That's what we see, especially dealing with, these chariots. And everyone that
flicking on and off your nuclear weapons is a sign, okay? That's a sign.
That's another sign. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby he have believed, shall be preserved from the sad perils.
Preserve. How you gonna be preserved?
Mm.
Right.
Chariots.
Some of you individualites, I love you. Don't get me wrong. I've spent my individualite time, but it's going to be by your works. You got to get out on these highways and hedges.
That's right.
You got to get out on these highways and hedges. I'm telling you right now, like it was a test to be in the wilderness with Moses.
Mm-hmm.
The camp is a test.
That's right.
The camp by itself is a proving ground.
Facts.
I'm just now coming to this conclusion that being in the camp, it's a bitch. People bitch all the time about stuff, man. You be like, what the? But it's how many? There's 1 million people in damn wilderness. How many people you think bitching in there, huh?
That's real. Keeping it real, bro.
Right. That's why the kids made it, because they weren't bitching. They don't have all the concerns adults do about stupid stuff.
No.
All right. So being in the camp is a test. You want to keep going?
Yeah. Verse 8 again, shall be preserved from the sad perils, and shall see my salvation in the land. Keyword see. And within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning.
Yeah, he already. Listen, you better praise you.
Right.
With that,
giving all praises, all honor, and glory to the Most High Yahweh, B'Shem HaMashiach, Kwam Yasharallah. And we love y'all, Israel.
We love you.
Con. Oh man, see that? We ain't even ready for this.
These are the behind the scenes bloopers.
Behind the scenes bloopers that they can actually see. You know what I'm saying?
And then you supposed to like blur that.
The end is not popping up. Hold on. Let me take this off. Hold this real quick, bro. Salakia, y'all.
Hey, listen, the sun's about to go down. We're trying to go get a burrito. Y'all
Real,
get the hell out of here. Y'all we love you. Y'all gotta go home. Y'all get the hell out of here.